Hi, I'm Steve, the Introverted Traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this edition, we are hiking to McNeil Point in the Mount Hood Wilderness near the town of Government Camp in northern Oregon. Along the way, we will take in great views, get up close to volcanic landscape, traverse thick forests, cross bubbling streams, and run away from a rocky wind shelter that's full of too many damn people. All of this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back yet again for yet another adventure. And lately I've been making like 7 or 8 minute long introductions that I then have to go and edit down to like 2 or 3 minutes because nobody wants to hear me ramble for 8 and 9 minutes. So I'm going to attempt to make this the quickest and fastest intro that I've ever made. And of course that means that, since I'm trying, it's going to be like 10 or 12 minutes long, but I'm going to try really, really, really hard, fingers crossed. Okay, where am I today? Well, I'm in the forest. More specifically, and because it's summer and because it's only about an hour and 10 minutes away from my house, and I've done like 8 or 9 videos out here already, I'm in the Mount Hood Wilderness once again. But even more specifically, I'm going to something called McNeil Point, which is, like every other hike that I've had here in the Mount Hood Wilderness, a nice lookout point to show us yet again another, little slightly different angle of Mount Hood. Okay, what does All Trail say about it? Well, why do we care? All Trail is a filthy, dirty liar, but it's around a 9 to 10 mile hike on All Trails. I can't remember the exact mileage it says, but just, inflate it by like infinity. So 10 to 12 miles. Okay, we got that. We know All Trail sucks. That part of the formula is done. The meat and the potatoes of the video. Well, just to get to this trailhead, I had to go down like a 10-mile gravel/paved road from hell. This is how bad the road was. The paved part was worse than the gravel part. Potholes, mud holes. I'm pretty sure there was like a Grand Canyon built in there somewhere. And for most hikers, that's not a big deal because most hikers have high clearance vehicles. I have a Prius. So I literally had to get my Prius down the road from hell. I achieved it, although I'm not sure the Prius is going to, be in one piece when I get back. It may literally, a leaf might fall on it and might just go, but I get to the trailhead and what do you think I see? Like 30 cars. I am literally in the middle of nowhere, Mount Hood, Oregon. And there's people. And if you do the introverted math on 30 cars, 30 times, estimate 4 people per car equals awful nightmare scenario. So basically, I'm in the middle of nowhere in the woods with a bunch of freaking people who are happy to tell me all about their lives and say good morning and say hello and then, burden me with their existence for however long I'm going to be out here. So, we know I'm amped up, but that's basically it. That's really all I have to tell you. I told you where I was, middle of the forest. I told you why I'm out here, because it's close to my house and I'm lazy. I told you what's going to cause me permanent trauma, all freaking people and, the nightmare road from hell. And I think I got it. I think, for an introduction, I think we're good. Now, I'm going to hike up to McNeil Point. I'm probably going to get lost 5 or 6 times because All Trails tries to kill me at least 4 or 5 times. So, I'm being a little, liberal with the number, but it's going to be something along those lines. I'm going to get to the top. I'm going to show you Mount Hood. We're going to go ooh. We're going to go ah. There's going to be people. I'm going to go scream. I'm going to run. I'm going to hide. I'm going to shiver. I'm going to cower. I'm going to cry. Same thing I do in every video. So let's get this started. No more delay. I am hearing voices echoing all throughout the woods. And they're not just voices that I'm imagining. And they're not, you know, like spirit voices or phantom voices. Ghost voices I could take because they're just here to scare me and, you know, trying to get me off the trail. They're not going to come up to me and, you know, ask me about my day and try to socialize. I'm in the middle of nowhere, folks. The middle of nowhere is supposed to be reserved for banjo-wielding rednecks and maniacs in hockey masks trying to kill you with machetes. That I could take. But instead, in Oregon, you get other hikers. And frankly, that's the scariest horror show I could imagine. I mean, I could take banjos and tree spirits and, you know, hockey mask maniacs, but other hikers? Ugh. Well, leave it to me to come to one of the best views that I've found yet at Mount Hood. Right in the middle of the morning when the sun is like directly overhead and I have to film directly into it. Now, if the video looks a little weirder than usual, it's because I actually put a neutral density filter on my camera. I actually bought some from Amazon because Amazon has literally everything. You can buy neutral density filters, food, and dildos all in the same order. It's a magical place that's, you know, horrible corporate greed, but it's a magical place, and it's eventually going to send Jeff Bezos into orbit, so he may stay up there. So is that a bad thing? I don't know, but there's Mount Hood. It is beautiful, and this is a great view of it, but the wrong time of day. But look at the rest of the view. I mean, this is the valley below. I think that might be the Zigzag River down there. I don't know. It's river-like and it's roaring. I have no idea. And then there's, of course, if we go back in that direction, is the soul-crushing populace of Portland, Oregon. But right now, surprisingly, I have a moment of peace. I don't see anybody around, and I have beautiful views. You know that really bad joke I always make of how, you know, I'm alone, but I'm waiting for the busload of nuns or the Cub Scout troop or whatever just come running through here? I'm pretty sure that's not a joke anymore. I just saw like 10 people just walking past me. There's people everywhere. And what's worse, of course, this is a narrow, dangerous trail. You know, it's like on the edge of cliffs at times. You saw it earlier. So guess what I saw? Trail runners. Basically, wherever there can be bloody death, the trail runners will come because, you know, that's their ultimate goal. They're not out here to get fed. They're out here to, you know, kill me. You know, not necessarily me, although given these videos, yes, probably me. But they're out here to kill all of us. Remember, Oregon trail runners have absolutely no regard for the safety of themselves, others, animals, plants, nature. They don't care. As long as they're getting their little thrill and going, I'm running. That's all they care about. So, my blood pressure's about to explode. How you folks doing? You settling in, watching the YouTube video, probably in your comfy bed or your comfy chair, you know, watching the weird bald guy freak out in the wilderness? Well, guess what? I'm freaking out in the wilderness. All right, here's a hopefully non-rant update. So, I'm about 3/4 of the way there, give or take, probably a little less, but I'm still in the forest, but I'm starting to see views over here. I'm also starting to see people like you can pretty much time yourself, you know, every 20 seconds somebody walks by going, oh, well, my wife is... Okay, I promise this would be a rant. Let's pretend for just a moment that there are no people out here. And trust me, it's easy to pretend and hard to keep that fantasy for more than 10 seconds. But if the soul-sucking, solitude-destroying, vampire presence of other people was removed from this equation. This is a very pretty trail. I mean, look at this. I've been in the woods almost this entire time, and there's going to be some exposure coming up, and there was some exposure back there that I already filmed, but it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's rugged. It's majestic. It's awe-inspiring. It's all the things that you feel when you look at my face. That's what I'm feeling here in the forest. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, you can't remove that element of other people. And it's making this hike pretty damn ugly. And I'm not sure why. I know that the PCT is near here, so there's probably people going there. And I'm also apparently on the Timberline Trail as well. This actual trail, apparently this is the Timberline Trail. And for those of you who saw my other video when I went to Umbrella Falls, and the trail that literally tried to kill me, the snowbound hell trail that tried to eat me 5 or 6 times, that was the Timberline Trail. Well, it's not here to get its revenge, because it doesn't have to. The fact that there's so many people out here destroying my solitude and going, rah, 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 that's going to kill me. The trail doesn't have to do anything. Just give it 10 minutes and my head's going to explode. Okay, I promised this wouldn't be around. So I'm going to calm down. I'm going to take my blood pressure medication and just tell you that, yes, it is an absolutely beautiful trail. And I'll leave it at that. We'll just leave it there. We'll leave it on a happy note. Well, I don't know if you can see that on a GoPro, but first of all, that's absolutely awesome. That's Mount Hood, which again, we've seen. This is like the 90th angle I filmed it at, but it's up close this time. But I am venturing a guess that there are clouds right behind it, but it's literally making it look like it makes it look like it's about to go. Yeah, it's really cool. It looks like steam. Now, it could be. I mean, active volcanoes do steam. There are steam vents on active volcanoes all the time. I mean, Mount St. Helens steams from its crater, but that would be cool. I think that's behind the... And again, I'm describing something you probably can't see on a GoPro, but hey, it's better than me complaining about... By the way, there's like 20 people back there. But anyway, forget that. We know that I hate people, but yeah, the mountain appears to be steaming. And actually, it may be coming from the side of the mountain. And I know there's active vents up there. So again, I'm repeating myself, but I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm not going to die in a fiery explosion with 500 other residents from the state of Oregon that are out here right this minute. But anyway, yeah, there's the view. And look at the view of the valley below. But right now, the crowds are behind me and probably ahead of me, but I'm in that little bubble of, solitude in the middle for like 5 seconds. And I'm getting good views. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. But I'm hearing voices coming in my general direction. So let's cut the beauty and get the hell out of here. It's time to play my favorite game. And it's one we haven't played for a while. I haven't seen one of these in a while, but look at this. We got a trail cam. And I'm filming the camera with my camera. This is about as sophisticated as my humor gets, folks, so just bear with me. But yeah, I'd actually love to see the footage on that, because I'm sure, aside from 100 billion hikers that go through here, I'm sure there's been bear and porcupine and raccoon and all sorts of animals in here, which are, again, way more interesting to photograph than the 9 billion people that run through here. But yeah, it's my little ongoing running joke. I am filming a camera with my camera. It's like the dumbed down version of meta humor, but hey, you know what? I'm out in the middle of the woods. I'm trying to make content. You get what you get. By the way, there's a giant volcano right in front of me, and it may or may not be smoking. I still haven't figured that out. So there's people coming. Filming a camera with a camera. It's funny. Laugh. Let's go. Apparently I have choices. I hate having choices because, I have to choose. But I can go straight up, or I can take this dilapidated veggie-filled path in front of me and Hope it doesn't kill me. Now, what I will tell you and what I'm not telling you is this is actually a loop. All Trails has me going up, looping back, and then I'll probably more than likely go up the nice way and come back the, you know, Cabbage Patch way. But as usual, I don't know which way to go because I've heard that this gets steep, it gets dangerous, and you should go up a certain way and down a certain way. And of course, we all know how much attention I pay to detail. For the life of me, I can't remember which way I'm supposed to go. Counterclockwise, clockwise, I don't know. You know, I feel that each trail is pretty grim reapery, so I don't know. So I'm gonna just go straight and then I'll come back, you know, the veggie patch way. But yeah, we're headed up to McNeil Point now. We're actually almost done. We just had the last little loop and then we're going back down, and I'll get back in the, you know, and I'll pass through 10,000 people down there, and I'll whine and I'll complain and I'll moan, and then I'll get in my car and I'll go home because, you know, these videos follow a formula, and that is my formula. But until then, I have choices to make out here, folks. And there's people coming, so my choice is to let's go. Okay, the people took the rocky path, so I'm going up the veggie path. Let's go. Well, so far this has been awful. It's a very narrow path, very steep, filled with ashy, sandy crap like all volcanic trails. But now, you're probably not going to be able to see this because there is a nice gray haze from, you know, billions of fires near here. But in the distance, I am seeing Mount St. Helens, I'm totally sure about. I think that's Mount Adams, and in the distance even further, and of course, again, this GoPro, you're not going to see much. In the distance, I also see Mount Rainier. I mean, that would be the proper order for that change. So, Mount St. Helens is easy because I've been there. It's got a big hole in it. But yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of volcanoes over there. I'm seeing pretty views. I'm being attacked by like hundreds of insects. But you know what I'm not seeing on this incredibly difficult, overgrown, crappy trail? People. However, I can hear them in the trails below. I'm so glad I didn't take the rocky path. The rocky path was the path to people paradise, aka hell. Anyway, I'm going to go up the non-peoply path, but I'm seeing beautiful volcanoes in the distance. My heavens, are they having a party or something? I can hear it like all the way up here, and it sounds like they're having a rave down there. You people, you gotta come out here and be quiet. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful and serene, and I'm hearing some asshole scream through the wilderness about some mundane, stupid bullshit. Serenity destroyed. Solitude destroyed, and will to live draining. Wow, they really are. They may be coming up in this trail. I don't know. They're being loud as hell. But anyway, I'm going to get going before the party bus gets here. But yeah, there's some beautiful volcanoes. You can't really see a whole lot, but I can see them. They're over there. And if you zoom into the video, you might see them too. But let's get out of here before, you know, before I go crazy than usual. Let's go. All right. Well, this has been insane. So, unfortunately on a GoPro, everything looks flat. But according to the grade map on All Trails, because All Trails has a little like topographic grade thing that it puts on the map now. At one point, this is an 88% grade, and I think I'm on it. It's not terrible. I mean, that sounds absolutely nightmarish, but you can grab on the stuff. I've been able to get myself up here. There was a little bit of scrambling. It's mostly trail. And here's the bonus out of all of it. I mean, it's a dangerous, steep, horrible trail that, of course, All Trails is sending me on because it wants to kill me. I've only seen like 2 people on this trail because everybody goes the other way. So nobody wants to go up the steep vegetation trail. They want to come down the steep vegetation trail and break their ass sledding into the woods and trees and everything else. Well, guess what? My ass is unbroken. I think I'm actually almost to the top of this because I'm at the point on the topographic little elevation map thing where it's at like the toughest grade, and then it's not, and that's going to be good because this is tough. This is really tough. But alas, it's people free, so it's worth it. Well, it was definitely worth it for the view. Now, I've almost broken my head, leg, arm, and rest of my skeleton like 15 times trying to get up here, but hey, at least I can see, well, now I can't see any volcanoes in the distance, but I can see a nice, thick, smoky haze. Thank you, human-induced climate change, and thank you, human race. I swear, I climbed my ass up a mountain, and this is what they give me. I mean, yes, it is a beautiful view. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got Mount Hood over there, which, by the way, is still like smoking, steaming, doing something volcanish. That's scary. The trail is scary as hell. I'm glad I'm going up and not down, because this thing down would be, I would just be a rolling ball of like rock and flash. But yeah, I have nice views. So there's that. Nice views. Deadly, you know, rocky, skull-crushing trail, but nice views. Oh yeah, this should be fun. Sunday hike days. You gotta love them. Okay, I'm at the top, and I just came out of the trees right there, and I seriously feel like the forest just gave birth to me. I'm hearing voices in that direction, so it gave birth to me into the awful, but I made it. Look, there's some sort of rocky shelter up there. With my luck, it's not going to be a bathroom, but if I'm in luck, it's going to totally be a peak bathroom, because, you know, wouldn't that make an awesome toilet? I mean, seriously. I'm pretty sure it's a wind shelter, but I could poop in that. I'm pretty sure you could poop in that too. All right, oh yeah, by the way, the volcano is still making smoke, and that's scary as hell, but I made it. I'm not dead. Yet. Well, there's the rock shelter in the distance. Nobody told me it was booby-trapped full of people. I mean, literally, that thing is full of people. Like it, you know, if you baited it and had like a door that closed and didn't open, perfect hiker trap. And you put a little granola bar in the middle, and, you know, maybe some like gels and stuff like that. Perfect hiker trap. And if the bears ever get like, you know, higher intelligence, those are gonna be everywhere. They're gonna be trapping hikers, and they're just gonna be like, "Arr, arr, arr." Yes, that was my impersonation of a sentient bear. You're welcome. In my traditional fashion, I had my All Trails, you know, app in my pocket, because it's All Trails and I try to keep it secret at all times because I don't want anybody to know I'm using that thing. I mean, come on, what, do they think I'm an amateur around here? And of course, I'm on a trail that is not put in the route. And I just went up a big hill, so I actually see the trail I'm supposed to be on. It's right there, but there's some people right there. So I'm not in a hurry. I do have to go down. Unfortunately, I have to go down a, you know, kind of a sharp cliff here, a steep cliff, but that's okay. I've done that many times before. And I've also gotten my ass lost in the wilderness many times before. So, I mean, I know where I am. Mount Hood's right there. It's really hard to get lost out here. There's a volcano right there. Now, do I know how to get anywhere from that? No, not at all. But look, I see a volcano. I know where that is. All right, I have found the correct trail. It's right here, and it goes downhill. So no more class 3 scrambles, no more like trying to fall off the mountain, no more heart exploding. No, now we're on the downhill because now we're headed back. We're on the part of the trail that has a loop to it, and we're on the the latter part of the loop. So no more trying to climb up on top of the volcano. But in typical fashion for my hikes, that part that I'd gone up too far and I had to come back down. I'm walking down and there's a guy holding a trail Scottish Terrier. It had little hiking booties on. I mean, it was cute. It was this little booty wearing terrier. It wasn't hiking. They said that they had to carry it around. But hey, I don't want to carry my dog, but my dog wouldn't even let me carry him up here. It'd be like, no, there's uphills involved. I will not do it. I swear. So that's a new one for us. That's one for our list. We had the trail Scottish Terrier. Well, it was worth scrambling up here just for that alone. Well, that's the direction we went in. And of course, there's beautiful Mount Hood again, right there. No more mist or smoke or whatever it was. But unfortunately, there's still a ton of people. Not as many as there were, because now it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because again, I'm slow as a tortoise. And they're beginning to thin out. Now it's mostly people who are actually backpacking, who are camping up here and so forth. But they're still around. I'm still hearing mundane conversations. I'm still getting unwanted social greetings. But whatever. At this point, I'm tired. I just almost killed myself on a freaking slope. I went up to the top, and now I'm just ready to go. Unfortunately, this loop is pretty long. It is pretty wide. But hey, at least I'm no longer at McNeil Point. I'm going that way. My car is in that general direction. Unfortunately, so are the crowds. All right, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna do what I do, see what I see, and heaven have mercy on my soul. So, I kind of feel like this sign is a metaphor for my whole entire, hiking hobby career thing. I mean, it's sturdy. It's built of sturdy stuff, and it endures, but it's lopsided and about to fall over at any given time. I mean, that right there, that describes me on so many levels. I mean, it describes me mentally, it describes me physically. So yeah. I appreciate the lopsided sign that someone's propped a rock against so it won't completely fall over. Again, I just, there's a kinship going on here between me and the sign, because that's my entire hiking career right there. Okay, that was stupid. But I'm at the point where I'm literally just meandering around. I'm not going up anything anymore. I'm not scrambling over rocks. I'm not almost dying every 5 seconds. I'm just meandering. So things like this, they keep the insanity away. So that's the way I just came, and that is the way right there that I just went up. That's the way to the scrambling and the crying and the bones breaking and all that stuff. And this has been actually relatively easy. It's just been a hiking trail. Why didn't I go up that and come down that? Why does all trails say, oh, well, go up the easy trail and go die? Oh, I swear, seriously, it sends you up the easy trail and then tries to send you down the trail of death. All trails, you're incapable of getting better, aren't you? And I know, it's user-generated trails. Why aren't people policing this? Most people in the general population can barely tie their shoes and use a crayon, and we're letting them draw maps of strenuous, dangerous hikes. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that just sounds brilliant. But I'm alive, despite the best efforts of everybody to kill me. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm tired. And that's my way, right there. That's my way back. So, I'm headed back. I'm going to my car. You know the spiel. I'm going to pass out of my seat, then I'm going to drive home. I mean, hopefully I'll be awake by then, and we'll do this next week. And there'll be more complaining and yelling and screaming like there is every week. But, yeah. It's been a pretty epic Sunday hike day. I almost died like 9 times. I mean, that's a pretty typical Sunday hike day, actually. But let's get going. Let's just not prolong it anymore. Let's go. Well, we are slowly making our way back. Emphasize slowly. And I'm starting to get really cool views once again. I mean, I was close to the volcano up there, so I had cool views, but I don't know. Something about this, it just seems a little cooler to me. I get to see more. It's beautiful. And it's close to my car. I mean, maybe that's why, but yeah, I'm just meandering. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. I'm complaining. I think that's the thing. But yeah, this is where I am. I should be back, within 2 or 3 days at my rate, but at least I've got views again. I am finally back in the last stretch of forest leading ultimately to the trailhead and ultimately back to my car. So, you know what time it is. It is time to rate the trail. For those of you, and there's quite a few of you who've never seen my videos, so for those who've never seen my videos before and are for whatever reason tuning into this one, we rate trails on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst possible thing for an introvert, and that's Disneyland on the 4th of July, a time of the year when the churros and Mickey Mouse ears are being sold at gunpoint for $100 a piece. Mickey and Minnie have taken hostages. They have packed dynamite around their bodies, and they're telling all the tourists that they have to spend half their money and mortgage their house so they can spend the money in the theme park, or everyone's going to be blown apart. Seriously, that's Disneyland on the 4th of July. I don't know if you've ever been before, but it's not that fun. And that is an introvert's nightmare. Now, an introvert's dream. Antarctica, in the middle of a snowfield, in the middle of summer. Just you and your gigantic army of sentient penguins. Yes, they are sentient now. And as I describe this trail rating every week, it's getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and that's solely based on the fact that, I don't want to get bored. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, from introvert hell to introvert nirvana, this trail today is about a 2. Unfortunately, as is typical in the state of Oregon, the natural wonders are flooded with people. They're talking, they're shouting, they're being assholes, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it was hard to find space when it was just me. Now, I will put a little star next to that because the last couple of hours of just coming back down in the late afternoon, I've pretty much been alone. There's been a few people here and there, but this morning, it was just this close to being Mickey and Minnie terrorizing the tourists. It was so freaking busy. The trailhead was almost full. There were people jumping out of the woods. There were people yelling. There were people screaming. Oh, just thinking about it's giving me a flashback. But that's why I put this trail at a 2. Now, I have known others who have done this trail on different days during the middle of the week, and it's busy then too. So, you know, this trail is only available in the summer. I mean, most of the trails around here are only available in the summer, unless you're snowshoeing some of them. So the people come. They flock from Portland, they flock from wherever, and they come. So unfortunately, you don't get a lot of solitude, and you don't get a lot of happiness, which can lead me to my misery index. Misery index is a measure of my own misery during this hike. It's measured on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being a complete pipe dream, and that's no misery whatsoever. Impossible. I'm always miserable to one degree or another, and thus can never reach 1. A 5, on the other hand, is meant to represent the worst misery in existence. However, especially since I moved to Oregon, I break that scale every day because Oregon is the worst misery you could ever experience in your life. You know, hiking in Oregon. But today, well, when there were people around, I was, you know, of course, a 500 trillion or whatever. But at the moment, I'm bad at, you know, 2.5, because as I said, I've actually been alone most of the rest of the hike, but we are in late afternoon going into evening because I am just that slow. So let's just average it out and say I was like a 3.5. Pretty miserable. Not tearing my head off miserable, but pretty damn miserable. But that's okay. There were benefits to this trail as well. It was beautiful. It was cool. There was great views of Mount Hood, etc., etc. But then there are people, and people ruin everything. So that's where we are in the rating scales, and that's where I am in life in general. So I'm gonna keep moseying up the trail until I mosey to my car, but I'll say goodbye before, you know, I slam the door and hit the gas. So yeah, let's go. All right, so I am in the final stretch of trail that leads ultimately to the trailhead and thus ultimately to my car. So it is time for us to say our goodbyes. But before that, let's recap. Today, and I'm trying to navigate a bunch of tree roots here, so if I fall and die, you know, that's why. But today, I hiked up to McNeil Point here in the Mount Hood Wilderness, which is literally right next to Mount Hood. And along the way, I unfortunately saw people. I saw people crawling out of the woodwork. I saw people falling from the sky, and I saw people, like, you know, appearing out of nowhere. But I also saw some really awesome views. I saw a hut. I saw a trail that tried to kill me. And don't forget that we saw a trail Scottish Terrier. So, you know, at least there's that. Totally worth it just for that alone. But alas, I'm done. I'm tired. And I want to go home. So, you know what I'm about to say. Stay introverted, everyone. And of course, I'll see you on the next adventure.